Hey guys, this is Anthony here from XXX RC Garage. I've been getting little things where people want to know in depth what I've done to TRX4 Sport, and like different stuff that I've done, how I did it, and so forth. Anyway, well, this is the truck here, as you can see, and okay. Anyway, there's other stuff I've done, like from a Gen 7 Pro from Red Cat, I got the mirrors off because I like those mirrors and they fold. You can actually get these off of eBay. They come in parts, you have to put the screw in, but these can bolt onto the rear. I also got the Gen 7 snorkel, which also bolts in the back. Now, I would have Traxxas on here, but Traxxas is taking too long to do what they got to do. Love Traxxas to death. Love their RCs. I love the TRX4, but I think they should have been a little faster on their accessory package because people are going to get bored, as I did. Anyway, so upgrades I've done to this thing. Going over the outside of the body stuff right now. So this bar light here is a Proline 6-inch curve, and it comes with different mounting brackets, and I used this particular mounting bracket on there. This roof rack, so this roof rack used to be a lot bigger, kind of like this one here, and I didn't really care much for this part, but I love the low profile of it. So what I did is I cut it to fit behind the bar light here. Anyway, moving on. Like this toolbox. This toolbox is a Proline toolbox. What I did, because they have a habit of opening in the trail, is I actually screwed mounted down, glued metal galvanized steel plates here, and glued some earth magnets on it. So now it actually locks nice down. That's one thing I did. So now I've got my buddy rope and I got a land anchor in here. Got my sand ladders, and you guys are probably trying to figure out what the heck this thing is. This is a bike rack. Yes, I said a bike rack. NTG came out with this bike rack. It actually has two bike holders. I actually have one of the bike holders on my Jeep, my TRX4 yellow Jeep. So basically your bike goes in here, this clamps down, and then I took and made me some little bungees out of girl hair ties and some hooks you can get from Lowe's, and there it is. So there's my mountain bike. I got a 3D printed fire extinguisher here. Okay, so the back. Alright, this is a Yeah Racing bumper, and this is supposed to be a spare tire rack holder, but I don't know what it is. I just didn't like the way it looked with a tire on it, so I decided to put jerry cans up here. These are actually TRX4 jerry cans. I painted the two outer ones, one blue, one white, obviously, left the inside red. This is also the jack from TRX4. I drilled another hole, mounted it through where the spare tire thing would go. And then also from a guy in Florida, I don't know if he's still out there or not, but RCDMV made license plates like this. And there's other guys out there doing it now too. And I got this antenna from China, $3 for two. So I got it, waited a month, they came in and got them. So anyway, this is everything you can see. These are NTG D-rings, anodized. I know I shouldn't have I went with a red, and obviously that's a bad idea because by the time you get done, there's not going to be much red left on them, but at the time I was doing a lot of red highlights on here. Anyway, so that is the body. Now I had a buddy of mine, Adam Trexler, who did the graphics for the side for me. And I know this is a Jeep thing, guys, the Punisher, but I decided to put TRX4 in the middle. Let me get closer so you can see it. tires and wheels. These are the China knockoffs to Vanquish's methods, and these are TR rings. Now I'm not sure where we got these at, but anyway, I think that says TR. Yeah, TR. BP Customs makes some rings too that you can get. It just makes it a nice wider bead, so that way if you're running. Now these are Proline Hyrex tires, and I will tell you, I run different tires and different things. I got the Hyrex, I got the Voodoos, I got the Pit Bulls. I do like the way these things grip and grab and go, and being scalable like that. So anyway, let's go further inside. I also did an interior in here, and this is actually out of a Wraith Spawn. It's got a single driver interior. I basically used that, and also did a roll bar off of a Dingo body. I cut the back of it off and got the right profile I needed, and literally cut it in half, shrunk it down, and I glued it into the top up here. So it's actually glued in. This is more for aesthetics. And here's my bar light. And yes, I use Gorilla Tape to seal it in. The reason I use Gorilla Tape is just because it's so much easier to get it in and out if I need to, and I can always retape it. This is an adapter. I use the Helios batteries that come with the XT60 adapters. I like the batteries I use here. Moving closer here and downward. A little dirty here, but this is the Bauhaus low center gravity battery tray, which I replaced, took out the original one, so it would be a little lower. So that's the battery I use inside there, and you see. Now Bauhaus does make a cross member you can change out, so you can use your longer batteries if you need to. Honestly, if you're going to use like your bigger packs, this is actually a Traxxas bigger pack that actually just still fitted here. So even with that adapter, I mean not having that cross member in there, this one still works fine in here. So and then I don't have to use the adapter. One thing I noticed that happened, and I hadn't checked into why it happened yet, but you can see these are Axial Icon shocks on here. The stock shocks were on here. When I pushed down, they would stay like this, and they probably just needed oil. I didn't have the patience to do that right away, so I just went ahead and changed them out. And I like the way these perform, and I can adjust them. Still running the XL5 HV 3S ESC. If you see this little box here, this is a remote switch for, because I have on my radio, I have this, and that runs my winch, which I'm getting to here. So one of the things you're going to want to do, because every servo, aftermarket servo you get, is going to have a very short lead on it, is get you an extension wire. Just go ahead and put it in, close this back up, maybe even put yourself a three-way in there, so if you're going to run lights or whatever you can use. Also, I just realized too that this right here is a steady hot lead from the ESC. And I'm assuming that's probably for a light kit or whatever. Right now, what I've using it for is for the rear bumper lights. Right now, I might be changing that a little bit later, but that's what I got it right now. And so I went ahead and used that for that. I'm still running the 21T 550 Titan crawler motor, same pinion, same everything inside there. I mean, I didn't change it. It does tend to be a little fast when you're running a 3-cell on here, just so you know. I noticed that Dixie RC, he's changing his out so it'll slow down a little bit, which is cool. I mean, I probably would do the same thing, but I'm just not I'm just trying to keep that part stock for now. I do like the fact that if I'm in a certain spot and I need a little punch, I can make it jump and do what I need to do. Especially if you're going crawling in the or competition. Okay, servo. This is actually a China servo. It's Power HD. They're very inexpensive servos and very strong. I've had 4 of the trucks that I have these in. I've only had one go bad, which is not bad compared to if you use a Savox or a high-tech. You know, you could go through them really quick, and they're 60, 70 bucks and up. So that's what I installed here. And that way I don't cry so hard if this one breaks. So far it's done well. I installed the Bauhaus servo winch mount plate. Now this can use 2 different types of servo winches. This one happens to be a Juggernaut that was made a while back in Florida. A guy made them. He actually cut out the housing, put the spool in the middle. Pretty cool. You can also flip these around, and where the spool would go here it would be dead center. So if you spun this around, it would be basically the same thing. So this works for either or, spool driven or center driven servo winch. This also has a bumper mount here, but I didn't use that kind of bumper. So let's go to the Worthy Made bumper. Okay, lower my camera down a little bit here so you can see what I'm talking about. So what I had to do, because as you can see, this piece is the bumper and it stops here, and this 2 needed to be bolted here, as you can see, and you can get a little rust up there. I'm gonna have to take care of that. Anyway, so what I did is one of my other projects, I have a 6x6. I cut a chassis that I had from an SEX10, and so I went ahead and took the chassis, cut it off, screwed it in here, and then I cut the top flange off and did the same thing on the other side. So this would be like a cradle mount. And as you can see, this does have a slight wobble, just probably because I got to tighten these up, and you do have to do that with your bumpers every once in a while. Let's see if we get these tightened. Yeah, see, that's all it was, a little snug. And so this is a Worthy Made bumper, and it says it's for the Trx4. I'm not sure what they were thinking by making it so short, but anyway, that's what it was for. So I had to make it for the Sport, so it would clear the front end of that body. Also mounted a bar light on here. But these are all metal lights. You can also get a Pro Line one that's plastic and probably just as durable and a little bit nicer profile, I think. One of the reasons I went with the Pro Line light bars on the body, for instance, this one here, is because I'm trying to keep my center of gravity low, and by putting a lighter weight product here, I don't have to worry about rollover as easy as I did when I had the Trx4 Defender body. And that's one reason I went to Jeep bodies on my other ones for that same reason. Just because of the rollover. Oh, another thing I did get is a Yeah Racing differential cover, which is all metal. Underneath, still stock. Had no reason to change out these. They're metal, they work great. The plastic drive shafts, I mean, let's face it, these things are in very fast bashers, same composite they use. It runs great, it crawls great, it trails great. I have no complaints here. That's pretty much the overview of this rig.